Hello, my name is Glendon Whitaker. I completed a literary review on massive open online courses as professional development, and I am going to share my findings and thoughts with you. This presentation will be broken down into a few stages. First, we'll have a brief introduction and discuss how I went about my literary review and what exactly I was looking for. Next, I'll discuss MOOCs, what exactly they are, and some of the good aspects about them. Next, I'll move on to their criticisms and what some of the literature is saying against MOOCs. After that, I'll discuss some of my findings and my thoughts on what I think about them. I'll finally give some recommendations and finish off with a short conclusion. A massive open online course is a course that can be accessed by any person in the world with an internet connection. Milligan and Littlejohn describe them as online courses aimed at open participation and access via the web, and usually delivered free of charge, lowering social, cultural, and geographic barriers to participation. It's interesting to note that nearly every piece of literary work on MOOCs these days provides a short definition of what a MOOC is and its origin. I suspect that's just because MOOCs are so new. To me, a potential market that MOOCs can be employed is in the global workforce. Employees need to upgrade their education or general knowledge related to their profession on a regular basis to remain current. The purpose of this research was to explore the effectiveness of MOOCs to provide this professional development. The question I posed was, can MOOCs be used in the future by employers to give their employees the chance to learn and progress in their professions? Stanford University took the education world by storm when they began offering a MOOC in 2011. From that humble beginning today, MOOCs have over 5 million students, as reported by Daniel, Cano, and Cervera, from around the world, taking advantage of courses being offered by some of the professors and universities that the students could only dream of being able to attend in the past. Current research notes that there are currently two predominant types of MOOCs. You have the XMOOC and then you have the CMOOC. Both articles by Vivian Faulkner and Faulkner, as well as Stevens and Jones, mention and describe both of these MOOCs. XMOOCs utilize a platform that stresses individual learning and uses automated assessment tools that allow students to learn on their own time and at their own pace. They then go on to say that a CMOOC, on the other hand, stresses social learning and uses distributed tools and allows the students to network and interact with other learners. So even two MOOCs on a similar subject can give the students very different experiences. One question that you may all have now is the money aspects of MOOCs. How can they be offered for free? Well, some are developed by universities that are publicly funded, while some MOOCs are on platforms that are for-profit. So they'll perhaps give a percentage of any profits made to the institution. This is what Daniel and Party said in his article. With this in mind, some MOOCs are charging for other services such as certificates for completing courses as a way to generate revenue. In the end, they still have to pay money to put this content on, and it costs money for some of these instructors and higher education teachers to actually create the courses. With MOOCs providing a venue to access free or cheap education, employers have taken notice. With jobs becoming so specialized, more personalized learning is required. MOOCs can provide a way for professionals to continually update their knowledge and share in this learning with others who have similar experiences to them as themselves. Beji, Wang, and Shirmohamedi wrote an article that was meant to encourage the Academy of Human Resource Development to use MOOCs for vocational purposes. It gives the example of an organization in Alaska that uses them as a free way to provide recertification training for its members. It also provides a small case study of a fictional entrepreneur who can use MOOCs as a way to encourage professional development among his employees with very little financial outlay on the company. There are a number of other articles, such as by Stevenson Jones and Vivian et al., that discuss the use of MOOCs in various professions and organizations, making really good conclusions on how we can use MOOCs for professional development. There was a survey done by Walton and al. That found 7% of organizations were already using MOOCs for professional development, while 71% could see their organization using them in the future. To me, this immediately indicates that there is a great market potential that MOOCs can tap into. Now, MOOCs are not supported by all educators, as the revolution some may claim they are. One issue that takes center stage are the low completion rates, due to the fact that they are free of cost. According to the Vivian et al. Article, as well as the Liu, Kang, Cao, Lim, Ko, Myers, and Schmidt's article, they point out that MOOCs have a high enrollment rate, but only around a 5% completion rate. Engel, Mankoff, and Carberry conducted a study to determine what factors the students who had completed a MOOC during an introductory human physiological course had. This course was a 12-week course based on a Duke University graduate level course offered on the Coursera platform. Now you have to consider 33,738 students registered for this course, and only 3% actually finished, meaning out of that 33 plus thousand, only 1,036 finished the course. Before the course started, however, he made a survey which indicated that 44.8% of the students said they had actually planned on completing the course. Another article by Deal showed a survey done with professors and how they use MOOCs as a teaching platform and what their thoughts were. One educator in the study even went so far as to say that MOOCs should be avoided at all costs. I see no benefit in education that is unsupervised, unstructured, free, non-accredited, etc. These initiatives should be stopped in their track. Another study by Sementelli and Garrett concluded that MOOCs may even contribute to the demise of effective education. MOOCs have claimed to be free education for the disadvantaged. McLeod, Haywood, Woodgate, and Al-Khatni do not agree with this. They claim the numbers do not add up, with the majority of learners, about 70%, being well educated and employed. Engel and al. Agreed, stating that the largest proportion of students in MOOCs had already completed a bachelor's degree or higher. MOOCs are relatively new and seen by many as an educational revolution, while some see them as a fad. Although they were initially seen as a means for disadvantaged people to get education from some of the greatest institutions in the world for free, this has not been the case. Those who are wealthy and already educated tend to use MOOCs for personal interest or professional development for their own career. Students at the University Polytechnica of Bucharest agreed that MOOC courses would help them, with the vast majority believing that they could use them to help improve their position within the company they are working for. This was as part of an article by Bukoveci, Simeon, and Stadchu. On the surface, having the ability to tap into MOOCs as a way to ensure quality professional development for our employees seems like a great idea. Not counting the time it takes for an employee to complete a course, the cost of creating and facilitating courses in-house make that endeavor quite expensive. This would be especially true for startups, as Beiji et al. Mentions in their article. There have been MOOCs created for a multitude of subjects that may interest an employer. Having such a large course catalog, as well as providing time to employees to better develop themselves personally and professionally, can be seen as a benefit. Even with some MOOCs charging fees for students to prove they have successfully completed a course, this can be a small cost compared to other alternatives. Now, for all the researchers who believe that MOOCs are a new revolution in the field, of education, there are many detractors. One of the criticisms that pertains is a low completion rate. Many studies are showing completion rates in the low single digits. This may be due in part to the free nature of MOOCs. Without a financial obligation, if a person feels the slightest uninterest in a subject material, they simply stop working on the course. As well, since there are no transcripts to worry about, signing up just to see if the course material is worth it is an option. Employers can combat this by only authorizing their employees to complete certain MOOCs as determined by them. As well, if an employee is getting time during the workday to complete these MOOCs, they may feel more motivation to actually complete them. Before a company allows their employees to use MOOCs as a way of professional development, I do have a few recommendations. The first is that any MOOCs that are offered to an employee should be vetted by the company themselves. This will ensure that the course content fits within the culture and expectations of the company itself. Since MOOCs may be updated at any time by the institution offering it, this may have to be done on a regular basis. It will also give the company a chance to see how long it should take for an employee to complete the course. As employees may be doing this training during working hours, companies should understand what kind of toll on the workdays these courses will have. Next, what proof will be required? The company should determine what will be the required proof that an employee has actually completed the training. Some MOOC platforms will provide this for free, while others will not. Although it seems trivial, there may be some unscrupulous employees that can fake some documentation to take advantage of their company. And of course, you don't want them to just say that they are doing the training when really they're not doing the training. So in conclusion, the guiding question for this literary review as to whether or not MOOCs be used in the future by employers to give their employees a chance to learn and progress in their professions, I believe has been answered by most of the literature as a yes. As noted by some of the literature, MOOCs are still young and technology may evolve, making them more effective. Some educators are against them and see them as a fad. However, it appears that for the time being, MOOCs are here to stay. Based on the literature, there is ample opportunity for employers to leverage them for the benefit of the company as well as the employees. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I used a number of references for my literary review. All of these can be found on the Brock Gibson online library if you decide you'd like to read more.